This winter, something beautiful is happening among elegant, self-aware women. It isn't burnout, it isn't disappearing, it's refinement. We're seeing a quiet movement toward cultural hibernation, a luxurious return to intentional living, real connection, deep rest, and meaningful experiences. In this conversation, I'll share the science, the psychology, and the feminine wisdom behind stepping out of the digital noise and stepping into presence, peace, and power. If you're craving elegance, silence, and energy that expands you, this episode is your invitation. Let's unplug, live beautifully, and rise inward first so we shine brighter later.
Becoming the magnificent, be empowered, strong, and gracefully, with poise and elegance endlessly. I am who I was born to be.
Welcome to Becoming, Conversations in Elegance and Empowerment, where we explore living with purpose, grace, and confidence. I'm Sine Lusinger, your host, author, and transformation guide. Gentlemen are welcome to listen, but this podcast is designed for the elegant woman becoming all she's meant to be. This isn't just a podcast, it's a conversation, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. Visit becomingpublishing.com to grab your free Elegant Woman's Essentials download, PDF and audio, for becoming the calm, confident queen of your own life. And join the conversation by leaving a comment and following this podcast. If you find value in this content, please share it with your fabulous friends who could use some elegant guidance. Now, let's dive into today's topic. Today we're exploring a new yet timeless practice that refined women everywhere are quietly embracing. It's called cultural hibernation. And no, it isn't isolation. It's the elegant pause, the choice to step away from digital noise, overstimulation, comparison culture, and consistent access, and instead step toward presence, private joy, a curated social life, meaningful connection, deep rest, and luxurious stillness. This winter isn't about disappearing. It's about choosing the life you're actively living instead of watching everyone else live theirs. Early in the fall season, my husband and I went to see a friend's band play. We see them quite often, but for some reason, the venue was packed with more people than we've ever seen there. I asked the doorman what was going on, and he told us that it was just another normal Saturday night. Trust me, it wasn't. My husband noticed people wearing name tags, so he asked one of them what was going on. This person informed him that they were there as part of a meetup group. I explained to my husband that I was part of those groups many years ago and met some of my girlfriends through one of them. Meeting people in person at events appears to me to be a trend we're seeing growing over the last few months, at least here in Dallas. Actually, I wouldn't call it a trend. I'd call it socializing the old school way. It's very mentally healthy, and yes, it is actually part of cultural hibernation. This is your elegant invitation. If you're a woman focused on elegance and empowerment, make sure you subscribe so you never miss a new conversation. This is a great time of year to unplug from the internet and start planning your holiday outing schedule. I'll explain all about it next. If you're ready for more than just inspiration, if you want tailored transformational support on your journey, visit becomingpublishing.com to explore my private coaching and guided programs. You don't have to do this alone. It may sound foreign to you to unplug, especially during the most social time of the year, but it has many health benefits. Don't just take my word for it. Let me show you scientific proof of what I'm talking about. It's important to remember that everything you see on social media is probably not what it appears. In 2016, I had coffee with a friend from college over Easter weekend, and she told me that she had given up social media for Lent. She said she was feeling so depressed looking at how everyone else she knew had such a better life than her. My response was, "What are you talking about? You have such a beautiful family, marriage, home, and life." She said, "There's always someone who has more than you." Studies have shown that the majority of people on social media are lying about their lives. I've noticed that the ones who post photos and declarations about how wonderful their life, love life, marriage, family, children, job, house, cars, possessions are, those are the very people who have things in their lives that are either not so good or they are about to be not so good. I believe most people want to show their best selves, but sometimes they are deceiving others and themselves in the process. A report released around 2017 by the United Kingdom Royal Society for Public Health combined previously published research on the health impacts of social media with its own UK-wide survey of nearly 1,500 14 to 24-year-olds. Quote, Instagram easily makes girls and women feel as if their bodies aren't good enough as people add filters and edit their pictures in order for them to look perfect, one research participant said. I once had a friend who worked in the entertainment industry say to me many times over the years, Sine, don't compare someone else's sizzle reel to your raw footage. Meaning, don't look at people online showing themselves looking their best and appearing to be living their best lives and compare that to your lowest times in life. It really makes sense if you think about it. You can't compare a baby's first steps to an Olympic gold medal track runner's winning record. The two just aren't comparable. UC San Diego and Yale researchers conducted a 2-year study of 5,208 adults monitoring their Facebook use and found that being social online is not the same as being social in real life. It may shock you, but online-only interactions actually take a negative toll on physical health, and these are worth paying attention to. Quote, overall, our results showed that while real-world social networks were positively associated with overall well-being, the use of Facebook was negatively associated with overall well-being. These results were particularly strong for mental health. Most measures of Facebook use in 1 year predicted a decrease in mental health in a later year, the researchers wrote in a Harvard Business Review article. These real-world social networks they are referring to look like groups and interactions physically in the same place with other people, exactly like the meetup group we encountered. They could include professional group functions like Toastmasters, religious gatherings like attending a weekly church service, sporting activities like a group golf or bowling game, entertainment options such as attending a show or meeting friends or family for dinner. The list can be pretty much endless. So if we're following the science, then we need to be spending time in person with loved ones and those who make us feel positive. I know this is hard for younger adults to understand because you were practically raised online. Your technical skills are admirable. I have just always been concerned about the negative effects it can have on your brain, personality development, and social development. I've had clients in their 20s who focus the majority of their social interactions online, and I've guided them to get out IRL, in real life, as they say. Let's face it, you can't hug someone through a screen. Human touch is powerful in healing, and studies back this statement up. I remember reading one study when I was earning my psychology degree that showed babies who weren't touched died. Are you resonating with this content? Please follow and subscribe so that you never miss a new episode. Coming up, I'm going to tell you about a new trend you may want to try out this winter season. Are you dreading the holidays? You're not alone, and that's why I created the Royal Holidays Survival Guide Experience, a digital and coaching program for women who want to reclaim their peace, protect their joy, and say no to toxic traditions. Visit becomingpublishing.com to explore the full program, including private coaching for the season. Let's make this the year you actually enjoy the holidays. There's a new cultural undercurrent rising, and I love it. It isn't escapism. It isn't isolation. It isn't even disconnecting from life. It is curated connection. We are entering a season where the most self-aware women, especially those living intentional, elegant, elevated lives, are stepping back from overstimulation and stepping into presence, refinement, and true living. Over the past few months, we've witnessed something fascinating, a quiet movement that's being called cultural hibernation. What is it? Cultural hibernation means pausing digital noise, the online interactions we've been discussing in this episode, choosing meaning over momentum, protecting your mental and emotional energy, seeking real conversations, real touch, real relationships, and nurturing your inner world so your outer world can flourish. It's the elegant woman's choice to temporarily step back from the loud, demanding digital world and intentionally re-enter life through meaningful experiences, true community, and deeper presence. Like I said, this isn't isolation. It's refinement. It's the luxury of choosing what deserves your mind, your energy, and your presence. It is exactly what I've been describing in this research, an unplugging from the digital world and a reconnection with the people, places, and things that fuel you and make you feel glorious. I'm not inventing this notion. In fact, science and culture observe similar rhythms. Granted, it's such a new concept that research and experts haven't really had time to study or weigh in on the concept. However, there are hibernation studies that seem to shed some light on the trend. Urban planners use the term urban hibernation to describe towns that withdraw from external growth and then reemerge. The authors of a 2016 study on the concept of urban hibernation defined hibernation as, quote, a state of intermediate transformation. A town may enter a state of hibernation for a minimum of 20 years, then dehibernates, end quote. This would enforce the idea that a woman can enter a pause, a change of rhythm, then reemerge with new energy. Recent commentary from 2023 in the Georgetown Voice described human hibernation as a way out of our stressed out culture, reinforcing that this elegant retreat is not just luxury, it's the antidote to holiday and life stress. The article's author went on to say something I'm constantly stressing with my clients. Sleep isn't a luxury. It's when the body repairs itself and is necessary. Quote, while humans technically do not hibernate, research has shown that the need for sleep is greater during winter months, end quote. Even in the study of information diffusion, research finds that cultural ideas often hibernate before a resurgence. This is a useful metaphor for how we might let culture rest until it aligns with our values. You don't have to worry about FOMO in this practice. For the wealthy, discerning woman, this isn't about missing out. It's choosing which rhythms serve your future self. The research supports it. Stepping back is not retreat. It's strategic. Of course, the term cultural hibernation is still emerging in trend language. What we're doing is adapting robust ideas about withdrawal, selectivity, and renewal for the elegant woman. If you think that you can't unplug, I'll remind you of how powerful you really are. You can redirect your thoughts and allow yourself to slow down. Believe it or not, we are fully in control of our minds. There was a time in my early adulthood when I didn't think this statement was even true, but it most definitely is. It's also imperative that we take control of our thoughts before others do. It's so vitally important that we're diligent and consistent about what we allow ourselves to ponder. Like a friend once told me many years before I was crowned a national pageant queen, don't let that info into your pretty head, queen. It's vital that we monitor what we allow ourselves to see and hear. That includes social media, TV, newscasts, podcasts, movies, and music. It could also include sporting events. If it causes you to feel negative emotions of any kind, my advice is to turn it off. I was basically forced to take my own pause earlier this year while waiting to go into the hospital and have surgery for the first time in my life. I spent time with people who fueled me and inspired me while doing things that motivated me and made me feel happy. I didn't disappear. I still went out and I saw more concerts last summer than ever before. I just didn't push myself. When my body told me that it was time to go home and lay down, I did. I didn't allow people to bully me into doing things for them or doing what they wanted. I didn't know what cultural hibernation was and had never even heard of it until a few weeks ago. But I've already been practicing it and will continue to do so because I see it as a timeless, elegant practice. Winter is not just a season outside. It can be a season inside us too. The essence of cultural hibernation is essentially an elegant pause, and winter is the perfect time for it. As Catherine May wrote in The Guardian in 2020, quote, "Winter is a time to allow the rhythms of our lives to slow," end quote. If you feel called into a season of refinement, I invite you to download the Elegant Woman's Essentials and begin your gentle resets. You can find the complimentary resource at becomingpublishing.com or through the link in the description. And when you're ready for a deeper transformation, you can apply for private coaching on the website. I don't rush women into change. I guide them and walk with them into elegance. The colder months can be a season to renew, a season to reflect, a season to reconnect with what and who truly matters. Regeneration is elegance. Stillness is strength. Discernment is luxury. I know this is a new concept, so I'm not going to leave you to figure it out alone. In practice, a cultural hibernation could look something like the following examples. Instead of trendy restaurant launches every weekend, you might curate a candlelit dinner at home with fresh flowers, soft jazz music, and a menu you thoughtfully planned, sharing it with 2 or 3 people who genuinely nourish your life and spirit. Elegance is not about being seen everywhere. It's about being fully present where you choose to be. Instead of scrolling through everyone else's vacation and milestones, you might put your phone away and create your own moment, like taking a slow morning walk in nature, journaling in your favorite warm spot, or sitting in your favorite cafe with a real book. Presence is a luxury, and you deserve to experience your life, not watch theirs. Instead of RSVPing to every party, opening, and charity gala, you might attend one intimate salon-style gathering, a book circle, private separate club, or classical concert night, something that feeds your soul rather than your calendar. Meaningful connection outlasts crowded rooms. Instead of filling your day with casual social coffee dates, you might schedule one intentional conversation a week with a woman whose presence expands you, challenges you, or inspires you. Depth over quality, always. Instead of rushing from Pilates to brunch to errands, you might build a morning of silence and self-nourishment with stretching, prayer, or meditation, tea in silence, and a beautiful robe. No multitasking. Stillness is not empty, it's restorative. Instead of keeping up with every new trending podcast or influencer, you might choose one timeless source of wisdom, a philosophy lecture, classical audiobook, spiritual teaching, or intentional coaching session. You're always invited to put this Becoming podcast on that list. When everyone else is consuming noise, you are cultivating substance. Instead of fast cycle fashion hauls, you might shop intentionally for pieces with craftsmanship, timelessness, and emotional resonance, or restyle what you already own with elegance. Refinement is not accumulation, it is discernment. Instead of constant networking and online visibility, you might invest in quiet still building by reading a classic, learning a language, refining your art, deepening your emotional health, or developing your feminine strength. What you build in private becomes your power in public. Instead of chasing every new cultural trend, you might revisit beloved classics such as rereading a favorite author, rewatching a meaningful film, returning to a sacred text or piece of music. Some beauty is meant to be savored again and again. Instead of booking adrenaline-filled trips and nonstop itineraries, you might choose a restorative retreat. This could look like a mountain spa weekend, seaside quiet, fireside reading, or cozy boutique hotel stay, all with no agenda except renewal. Your soul deserves rest, not stimulation. By these suggestions, I hope you can see that cultural hibernation isn't hiding. It's intentional refinement. It isn't pulling back out of exhaustion. It's rising inward first, so you emerge luminous later. If you feel called into a season of refinement, of becoming, I invite you to treat this winter as your cultural hibernation. This is your opportunity to curate your life like you curate your wardrobe. Remove what no longer reflects you. Elevate what feels aligned, peaceful, and elegant. Invest in people and experiences that nourish your soul. This is how elegant women reset, not by disappearing, but by refining. Honestly, you don't need the world's noise to live a rich life. What makes your life rich is presence, purpose, and people who lift you higher. I encourage you to let this season be the moment you reclaim your attention, your peace, and your presence. Thank you so much for spending time with me on Becoming, Conversations in Elegance and Empowerment. Was there something in this episode that resonated with you? Share your thoughts in the comments and share this episode with a friend who could use some guidance today. If you're ready to take your personal growth to the next level, visit becomingpublishing.com to explore my exclusive coaching programs and resources tailored for ambitious women like you. There you can also download your free Elegant Woman's Essentials PDF and audio for becoming the calm, confident queen of your own life. If you found value in this episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and share with your friends who are ready to create the magnificent life and relationships they truly deserve. Until next time, stay elegant, stay empowered.
Becoming